Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Just another short clip. Show how sick these people are. He's going to go off and get his narrative of how so they should be treating white kids so bad. Now the stuff is turned back on them, and they was doing this for us for 400 years, but no one was complaining about that for 400 years. They was doing what he complains they're doing to little precious white kids right now, but nobody complained about that for 400 years. These people are totally sick. Just listen.
But he's still terrified. I want everybody in the audience to think back about how they were in high school. You're sexually active, you're starting to drive, you're experimenting with things. You're doing sports, you're doing extracurriculars, you're arguing with your mom and your dad, there's fights in school, there's social drama. You can barely keep your head on straight. You're too fat, you're too skinny, your skin's breaking out. With all that chaos and tenderness and insecurity, you're going to now take a white student and jam an hour a day of telling him you have to be ashamed of yourself, your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather. You are racist inherently, and you are succeeding because of white supremacy and patriarchy. And then you go to the black student and you say, you're a victim, you're always going to be a victim. Everybody that looks at you only sees your skin color, and the white kid you sit across from in chemistry class is continuing to suppress you through microaggressions. What kind of monster would do that to a student? I'll tell you what, Martha, a Marxist, because that's where this comes from. Think about it. We're competing against the world. The rest of the world is learning Mandarin Chinese, computer science, they're reading the classics, and we're teaching our students to hate themselves. That just divides us, it makes us angry, it makes us not as smart and less competitive, and that's what this is all about. It's like the enemy within, psychological warfare.
See what I mean? Now, what was they doing to us for 400 years? We was no good. Our ancestors no good. All blacks was no good, right? Wanted to be slaves, ignorant, beasts. And they said, what monster would do this? What was Jefferson, the point person you honor, and Washington? What was they doing? See, they telling us we was nothing. 40 years. See, we was inferior. So what kind of monster would do that for 400 years? Y'all. And oh, what are you doing to these poor white kids? See, they didn't have no problem when they was doing to us for 40 years. But now somebody says back to them, oh man, you see, so you can go in and kick me 24/7 for 40 years, but if I mess around and hit you back, man, he assaulted me. Oh, he's an evil person. These people are sick. Just listen to them. They're sick. They say anything. See, they know they're lying, but see, if they're crying now, as Jesus, the prophet 2,000 years ago said, if men cry when the when the branch is wet, what will they do when the branch is dry? That means if they're crying when they got everything, what will they do when they have nothing? Because everything is being taken away from them. Everything. They're about to lose. They already broke. They just don't realize it. But everything that they have is about to be taken away from them. That's consequence. Everything that they took, read the story Esau and Jacob, everything they took, they have to get back. Everything has to balance. No nation has ever survived that. Because every nation prior in Yacob's history was found on taking from others. And eventually the day of reckoning came and they had to pay back. See? And those they took back from them. This whole world was taken away from us. This our creation. Our creation was taken away from us. See? And these people, they took every last drop. In other words, whatever was left, all the other nations took. Whatever was left, they took the rest. They left us high and dry with nothing. Nothing. I mean, they didn't leave us anything. Nothing. They didn't leave us the rights of a dog. Do you understand that? See, these people that's marrying them and wants to make love with them and wants to forgive them and wants to bring them to NOI, see, and wants to forgive them and all that stuff, they should be back there 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago, see, 100 years ago, when we had nothing. They took everything away from us, even our humanity. We couldn't even talk. We could only talk the way they tell us to talk and when they tell us to talk. We couldn't even think. We was not allowed to think. If they caught you thinking, they would kill you. They would torture you. They took everything. See? So, and then, and we're supposed to forget that? The demons, they're the ones that tell you forget it because it was their ancestors that was doing it. Do you understand? If these demons out here, that's master's children, house Negroes, it was their fathers that was doing this. That's why they have no problem with talking that stuff they talk. That's why you see them in the news media, you see them in Hollywood, you see them on TV, you see them in sports, because that's their house Negroes. They was in master's house. And their whole job, right, was to serve master, but to make you obey master, to convince you that you should be a good a good field Negro and obey master and do what master tell you. Because that was the chief job of the preacher. These preachers out here, that's their chief job, to keep you pacified, to keep you obeying master, that you're going to get your reward in heaven when Jesus comes. So just do what master tell you to do. Yes, we was told to submit, right? But we wasn't told to take and just kiss their ass. You see, it's a difference. So if you still think that these people are for you, you better understand, we understood it better when we was in the fields. But see, when we was in the fields, see, the house Negroes was in the house. And we was in the field. So we recognized it. We knew who they were. Plus, we knew who they were when they was born because we knew who was being raped. We knew. But now we don't. So it's confusing. That's why it says we're plagued by demons, because they're all around us. But you recognize them by what they say, how they think, because they're always pro-massa. If they're angry at massa, it's not because they're angry at massa for being massa. They're angry at massa because massa's not giving them enough dog food. You see, they want more. They want more of massa. They want to get closer to massa. That's what the whole civil rights movement was for. It wasn't to get away from massa. It was to get closer to massa. We want to integrate. We want to go to your schools. We want to be with you. We want to live with you. Because they want massa's recognition. Don't you understand? The true black folks, the real ones, they wanted to get the hell away from massa. Why we want to stay here with massa? Like Elijah Muhammad said, you'll be a fool to want to stay here in the land of your imprisonment. The real true seed Abraham that's not corrupted, they want out of here. They want away from massa, off the plantation, as far from massa as they possibly can be. Because they knew what happened to them, being fed like hogs in a trial. I mean, fed just like hogs. You didn't have no plate. You weren't sitting around with a chair and saying grace and all that kind of stuff. You weren't even allowed to have a religion. They only gave religion as to finish you off. You wasn't allowed to do anything but work. You didn't have time to think, even if you had the capacity to do it, because you was working 24/7. You had to bow down and pick that cotton. You couldn't even look up all day long from the beginning, sun to sundown. And you were so tired when you get finished, you had time to do anything else, to think anything else. And then the way they fed you, they took, just like hogs, they put it in a trial and poured chitlins in there. Chitlins, that's what they called them back then. And you ate just like the pigs ate. You and your children, if you had any. And you're going to forget these people? Oh, just forget. Yeah, why? Because when they saw that they was having a hard time controlling you, right? Then they had to indoctrinate you with a religion that tells you what? To forgive them. Forget what they're doing. Just, it's okay. You're going to heaven. So if they doing bad to you, just go. It's good. It's good if they're doing bad to you. Love them. The more they bad, the worse they do to you, love them more. Think about that. The more they did to you, love them more. That's the sealed Bible. It says it. It says it. It's not tampered with. That says it. The sealed Bible is the book that was given to Yacob's creation, given to Jacob, his people. It was given to his last iteration, Adam, to love them for being evil and mean. The more evil and mean they were to you, forget them and love them. That's the message they give to you. And some of you are buying it. Because these demons, that's what's spreading. That's what preachers spreading. But they don't do that. They tell you, oh, violence is never the answer. Violence is never the answer. See, violence is never the answer. Yet that's always their answer. That's always their answer. See, that Bible's not corrupt. That's exactly what it's saying. That's a sealed Bible. A book was given to them. That's sealed Bible. That was the knowledge and wisdom that was given them for their time to rule, for them to rule, because that's to be the nature of their rule, to make mischief and shed blood. It's not tampered with like they're saying. That's exactly what's in there. That's exactly the wisdom and knowledge was given to them to rule. And that's exactly how they would do it. The people are sick. See? But now the unsealed Bible is on the scene. It's blowing away all of that. See? Murder, rape, killing, abuse of women, right? Enslaving people, taking everything they have. Killing children. Abortion. All that stuff is in the sealed Bible. Okay. So these preachers, that's their job. They keep you indoctrinated, to keep you loving, to keep from going against master. Keep you on the plantation. See, and the worse master was, the better slave you're supposed to be. See, because you're gonna get your reward in heaven. And some of you still buying that, but you're gonna be changed pretty. You're gonna run into a wall pretty soon. See, all that crazy ideas has been about to be short circuited. See, that's masters. Here, see, you got his ideas uploaded, his software, which is a sealed Bible. So therefore, you think, well, it is from God. Well, because that's what it says, and it says in the Quran, it's from God. Adam, he would make mission shed blood. He would rule. It is from him. But it's for this evil time. But now his time is over. Now under judgment. 1619 to 1990 to 2019, 40 years, 2020 be a plague. That's the start of the judgment. That will be the first judgment. 2020 be a plague that will kill the firstborn. That means the elderly. So these people are sick. But they're saying what they're supposed to say. That's Yacob's idea. But now the idea is dying. See, it's dying. It's being blown away. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.